Bonjour à vous tous et bienvenue à ce 8e épisode de Romance Christmas. Mon nom est Kells et j'espère que de votre côté, vous allez bien. Donc au courant du dernier épisode, on a mis la main sur celui qui a tué Kane et ce ne fut autre que Sean qui avait manigancé le tout. Et la preuve la plus incriminante était sa fameuse clé qu'il avait brisée. Donc il avait la partie de la clé de Kane qui était brisée. Il n'y avait plus vraiment de moyen de justifier que c'était pas lui. Alors il a passé aux aveux et tout ça. Il a eu peur, il a vraiment eu peur pour sa vie, puis il s'est défendu au lieu de voir qu'est-ce qui allait se passer lors de la confrontation avec Kate. Donc il l'a éliminé sur le champ. Oh boy! Mais qu'est-ce que nous réserve ce jeu? J'ai bien hâte de le découvrir avec vous. Je vous souhaite un bon visionnement. Chapitre 2 Day 3, 25th December 1285. I always seem to oversleep on snowy days. The thin grey light coming from the window, half smothered by snow, is barely enough to wake me up. I climb out of bed, still feeling dizzy. The snow hasn't stopped yet. The tavern was quiet. The sound of chatting and clattering mugs are all absent. The doors in the corridor are shut, even Kane's and Sean's. It's almost enough to make me wonder if last night actually happened. That maybe it was just a nightmare. I walked down the stairs. The lodgers sat in the hall drinking. Silence reigned. Peter, Yanis, and Elegant were sharing a table. Peter was practically trying to drown himself with cider. Yanis took him by the wrist and set the cup down. Benefits of having a huge friend, I guess. Elegant sat by and watched quietly. Occasionally, took a sip from her drink. Vincel, Solar, and Lude sat at the counter. The Marquis and Marquise clothing was even messier than when they walked into the tavern yesterday. Vincel was busy, nervously fiddling with his bow, tie, and coat. Phoebe and Zax and Erin were seated around the fireplace, staring at their mugs without raising their heads. If Phoebe had brought a plague doctor mask, I'm sure he would have been wearing it. Sarn was sitting by the stove in the kitchen. The fire wasn't lit. I counted them one by one. There was no sign of Kane and Sean. Ah, you're finally awake. What happened? I walked to the table by the fireplace. You know what happened last night? Right. And Zax came up and whispered in my ear. Peter is taking things pretty poorly. Probably lucky Yanis is by his side. Maybe you could talk to him? Of course. Without Sean, the Marquis and Marquise are also in a bit of a mess. Looks like they weren't used to getting themselves dressed. Why are you telling me this? Tarn lifted the curtain and came into the hall. Good morning, everyone. I hope the incident last night didn't interrupt your rest here. Bit late for that. As the proprietor of the White Star Tavern and King's friend, I'm sorry for what happened later last night, but I can assure you that you have no need to worry about your safety here at the White Star. All of the lock are crafted by professional blacksmiths, and I personally guarantee you that they are safe and solid. And I can assure Detective Roman and I will ensure your safety until the blizzard outside is over. Just decided to volunteer me like that? By the way, Peter suddenly shook off at his hand and stood up. Encore dans sa position. Two people died, and you're telling us Merry fucking Christmas? Tarn froze. As far as I could recall, he always seemed to deal with all kind of stuff in a very flexible and quick-witted way that didn't match his appearance. But this time, well. And Kane, he was a regular here. How could you pretend he's a stranger, for fuck's sakes? Are you that fucking cold-hearted, you? Admittedly, I could understand Sarn's reaction. Sometimes, trying to separate yourself from events and staying professional is the only good option. Là, je pense que j'ai lu Sarn avec la voix de Yanis. Avec la voix de Peter, non? Ok. Ennis grabbed Peter by the shoulder and forced him back into his chair before Tsarn could do anything in response. Pete, for God's sake, sit down and shut up. Yeah, totally. He speaks finally. At any rate, I don't know how long it until the snow stops. Let's all just try and stay calm. Sorry! I'm sorry. I was just scared. The fact that he sounded like Sean didn't sit well with me. What? What if another mark? It won't. I promise. The blue dragon gently patted Peter's shoulder, then cleared his throat and straightened himself. For the time being, why don't we all just stay here in the lobby and get to know each other? That way, we can keep track of everyone. And if anyone wants to leave the hall, one person at a time, please. No groups, no pairing up. How does that sound? We look at each other and nod. I hope Sarn has something prepared to pass the time, considering everyone is stuck downstairs today. Maybe I can chat with them one by one. I could also go upstairs and get my book to read. Okay. Okay. Woo! On leur parle-tu? Let me find a place to sit down and talk with some people. Where should I sit? Sit. By the hearth, over by the counter, over the round table. I drag a chair over the fireplace. That rabbit is really quite nosy. He and Kane have known each other for years. Methinks it's not unreasonable for him to be in such a wet state. Forgive me for saying this, but I'm not particularly comfortable being near him. Why does it matter? Once the snow subsides tomorrow, we'll part ways and be strangers again. Being called children, being God's children, we help to treat each other with kindness. And children should know better than to shout, unless they want to be scolded. As Enzux arose to get another drink, Aaron touched Enzuk's elbow with his empty mug. Will you mind filling mine as well, dear boy? Didn't take you for a drinker, father. Enzux balanced the two mugs in one hand and its loot in the other, and headed towards the counter. Je pensais qu'on avait brisé ton loot. Seriously, if performing doesn't work out, he'd do well as a waiter. Enzux filled the mugs and returned. Here you go, father. God bless you, my child. The red dragon shrugged and sat down. À qui qu'on parle? Mirren. I look at Mirren. Thanks for chanting. Thank you for giving Kane and Sean last ride yesterday. Letting the deceased embark on the journey to heavens with dignity is what I ought to do. There is no need to thank me. Is that so? By the way, may I ask you something? What? Did Sean commit suicide? Of course not. Hope he doesn't know that I bite my tongue when I'm nervous. Is that so? I suppose I had no reason to doubt your credibility. Right? His priestly smile made me inexplicably uncomfortable. About the snowstorm? The snow keep falling down. It's all part of God's ineffable plan. Unlike the flood that washes all sins away, no matter how heavy the snow is, it can only cover sins. I'm getting more and more confused. So what? All the sins of Rim are buried deep down under the heavy snow. But the snow eventually melts. No matter how deep sins are buried, they shall be revealed by the light of the sun. The event last night. Pretty rough Christmas Eve. Indeed. It was the will of God, I suppose. What? If only we listened to God's words, none of these despicable acts would have happened. Here we go again. Surrounded by the goddess, the goodness and kindness of God, You will become a noble person naturally. People have done far more dispensable things for what others would call noble purpose. Noble purpose or not, those actions are still wicked. Wouldn't you agree? Fine. Before Erin could continue, I moved seat. I sat down beside Phoebe. Can I help you? Is being a doctor difficult? Why are you asking this all of a sudden, Mr. Detective? Why do I think being a doctor is hard work? That missing chest of yours is rather heavy. Must be tough to travel without. Sort of. The Karnak district had a dysentery outbreak recently. I went through the 3 bottles of castor oil with my patients. Castor oils? I thought last year it was clove oil that worked on dysentery. Medical science, such as the society. Medical science, such as it is constantly improving. If you happen to fall in sometime, I'll be glad to have you as my patient. Okay, the book last night. I'm just curious, what was exactly that? what exactly was that weird-looking book you had at last night? The cover had a bunch of symbols that were completely incomprehensible to me. Unsurprising. The book is written with a cipher to prevent others from accessing its knowledge. Maybe I should have asked. It shouldn't have asked. It's quite alright. Maybe ask that kind of question. I'm used to it. Vous savez quand c'est pas difficile, guys, de me rappeler de tout ça le jeudi prochain. De me rappeler de tout ça. De me rappeler des voix. De me rappeler de ce qu'on fait présentement. Ah! Il y a tellement de background sur les personnages, c'est fou. Never touch my nightstand. Can I ask you something? Something? Please, Mr. Detective. Have you seen anyone rummaging through my nightstand? No. I hope you're not suspecting me. I'm not good at to suspect a colleague. It's not good to suspect a colleague, even if the partnership is temporary. Thanks for the autopsy. I just wanted to thank you. For the autopsy? There's really no need. I believe the only qualified doctor would do the same if it meant keeping others safe and sane. Although my judgment may not be as good as a professional coroner's, I do try my best. If there is anything unsatisfactory with my work, please do tell me, Mr. Detective. I will try my best to correct it. I appreciate your enthusiasm, Dr. Privé, but let's hope we don't need such cooperation in the near future. Ah, pardon my enthusiasm, then. That's fine. Well then, a toast for your help, the Mr. Detective. Privé raised his mug and shook in the air, then took a sip. Ça se peut, comme vous avez vu, que je modifie quelques voix au fur et à mesure que je trouve qu'ils sont trop familières avec d'autres que j'avais faites, donc I moved next to Endux. What do you want? He implicitly held the loot practically as I approached. Il a encore peur de moi. Il pense que je vais l'attaquer. Oh, stop being so paranoid. About Kane. It's been a while since I last saw Kane. I didn't expect something like this would... Yeah. Endux sighed softly and fell silent. A good drinking buddy. Even though he never requested a song from me. If he did, wouldn't it be just like that Bible verse? Which one? Give not what which is holy to the dogs, nor cast you your pearls before swine. But still, he is much better than you as a drinker. Peter's outburst sort of shocked me. That's what a small animal do. Go into hysterics? They tend to attach great importance to kinship and friendship. Family and friends make it easier to survive in a harsh and unforgiving world. Sensible. I assume you will also find relationship important. Wolves and their packs are all that. Socializing with people is one of the required skills of a good detective. Will a snowstorm stop tomorrow? What do I look like? A village witch? How should I know? But I thought you just said that was me trying to raise spirits. Would you rather I say something like, oh no, the snow will keep falling and we'll be trapped in here until the spring thaw? If I said something like that, I'd have my tongue cut off. But it's better to say something nice. Thanks, by the way. For what? For the clue you found at the scene last night. You're more than welcome. I'd be the first to arrive, help you investigate next time. If you were the first to arrive at the scene, you'd either be the victim or the murderer. Sure. By the way, can I ask you something? Why, certainly. Did you happen to touch my nightstand? What? Of course not. I'm not the kind of guy I was when we first met. Never mind. Nothing. It's warmer sitting by your side of the fire. Naturally. Oh, wow. Where should I sit? Là, on s'est assis à la ronde, by the hearth. On s'est assis à the round table. By the table. Peter was face down on the table, his mug close to hand, his back occasionally twitched like he was sobbing. Yanis was gently patting him on the back. At least gently by his standard. It's like bang, bang, bang! Elegant sat by them with a full cup in her hand. Wonder if it's the same cup from yesterday. There. It's okay. It's not okay. If Cain was here, he wouldn't want you to see you cry. Don't try to tell me what Cain would want. I stroked Peter's head gently. What? J'imagine juste avec une petite voix. Tu sais, dans le fond, il pourrait avoir la voix la plus grave incroyable, genre. What kind of person was Cain like? And Peter lowered his head. Any idea how long the snow will keep falling? I hope so! Peter pushed my hands aside and laid on the table. Peter, I know Cain's incident is a great shock for you. To be honest, I'm just as shocked and confused. But since we don't know how long it will be until the snow stops, you should probably try to calm down and keep your head for the time being. I tried. I better not bother him. I look at Yanis, who was patting Peter's back. How about Cain? I still can't believe what happened with Cain. Yeah. I'm still expecting him to come downstairs and chat with me over a cup of ale. Like about the damn seasickness cure he came up with a while back. That never worked. Or some amulets he's been collecting. For some weird shot or something. Well... Seasickness? Okay, seasickness? What? C'est pas un peu bizarre? No? That's good. Apropos Peter, I'm just glad you're keeping Peter calm. I don't know how long it has to keep going. Rabbits are like that. It ain't impossible to scare one to death. Just be careful. I know you're trying to help him. That maybe you should try a more delicate method? I'm not gonna break his back, if that's what you mean. No, not that. Hey, Yanis, did you poke around inside my nightstand? What were you talking? Do I look like a pretty thief to you? Yeah, you're right, never mind. Bye. Yeah, you may want to pat him more likely. Like this? Oof. I think you can figure it out. Ah non! Non! J'ai oublié de parler to Elegant. When I look at Elegant, she made eye contact and nodded. What was it you wanted to say before the incident last night? I didn't get the chance to ask. I forgot. So, as it was interrupted. Maybe it was something should not be uttered at all. My curiosity will be the death of me. You are no cat, not a cat. About that notebook. I grew tired of explaining the same thing repeatedly. You haven't explained a thing. The perverse in Rin. I'm so curious about the reason you come here. I thought you had already figured it out. Is it a good time to tell me? I came here for an investigation. Why else would I be here? Perhaps the carrots too? Well, at least you didn't cover it either way. Ever touched my nightstand? By the way, have you ever touched my nightstand? What do you think? You have. And do you think that's true? Well, okay. Your performance yesterday was splendid, Mr. Roman. Thanks for the compliment. Mon Dieu, I should be the one to say that. Were it not for you, Monsieur Detective, that fiendish goat would have succeeded in framing me. May that goat rot in the pit with the traitors and murderers. Nevertheless, Sean has... No, don't even speak that name before me again. As you wish, my dear. Sir turned away from Lynette. Her ears flat and tail lashing in angers. You needn't to be so angry, Marquis. Once the snow stops, I'm sure you'll have more than enough time to make it to His Majesty's Christmas feast. Bah! It is already too late. It's Christmas today. I am sure to miss the feast if the snow doesn't stop by noon. And there is also the matter of my carriage. Oh, la malchance, le malheur. I'm sure that this is merely a temporary setback for you, Marquis. Nunik rolled his eyes excitedly. Don't worry to flatter me, merchant. I sat beside Miss Vinsel. What brings you to me, my good detective? I assume it's quite a long trip from your home to Rim, right? Certainly. I haven't traveled this far from Town in years. Is it your second time here? Not really. Vincent paused a bit and continued fiddling with his own. It's my first time visiting the capital. I guess I'm telling you to have a pleasant trip. Will it be in Portuguese? Oh no, not at all. His dove was already on his end properly, but he kept fiddling the edge. C'est un peu ça qu'on... Ouais, c'est ça. Poum! J'aime ça qu'il y ait ça. Ça veut dire que tu vas même affaire, facilement, pouf! Tu fais disparaître le texte. Didn't you say before you might hire me for a case? Indeed, my good detective. Anything you want to share about that? Or I had time to prepare? Do I have time to prepare? It's just investigating a trivial matter. Easy as it sounds. No need to over-prepare. Alright. Mysterious. The spice business must be making money lately, given the price of paper in the city just tripled. The same goes for cinnamon and cloves. Even the price of basil has gone up a lot. I know it's the holidays, but surely it can be that expensive? It's because spice shipment haven't arrived at port yet. Merchants are still consuming their inventories while waiting for that cargo. Naturally, the price goes up at supplies window. Those gloves of yours look very stylish. Vincent stretched his bow high and put it together. Great minds think alike. I always preferred the gloves, especially those thick enough to retain their shape while empty. Ah, of course. I raised my mug, and it did too. To Christmas. To snow. Our mug clicked, and I could smell the aroma of pale ale mixed with fresh basil in his cup and as his drink slushed. Lunich. I sat down beside Lunich. He didn't seem to notice me. Such terrible weather. When will the snow even stop? I think it could still go for some time. C'est mauvais. I knew we should have left earlier. If only I knew about this awful snow. I'll be a laughing stock if I miss the king's Christmas banquet. Come to think of it, are my carriage horses? Are they seen too? I'm not quite sure about that part. Have you been to the king's Christmas banquet before, my lord? I'm curious about what they serve. Ah, excellent topic. Noel cleared his throat, then narrated with enthusiasm while drinking with his mulled wine. If I become just so, by sommelier, each person would be assigned one from the royal staff. Would come over and fill the goblet with wine. The wine was magnifique. At each banquet, there will be at least one intemperate guest who, greedy for the fine wine, would fall unconscious before the end of the feast. If you had tasted the treasure of the king's cellars, you would fully comprehend why they risked showing such rudeness before His Majesty to drink to Earth's content. Even with just speaking of such divine nectar, I've become more and more aware of the wine in this tavern is. I tilted my head towards him, just toward him. C'est bien, especially compared to some lesser establishment. By the way, if there are other disputed cases in the future, feel free to send them for me. Absolutely. Should I encounter such a case again? Both your performance last night and last time impressed me. Especially when you dared to criminal to strike at you with the armor under your coat. Your bravery is remarkable as the detective. Are you getting used to your room, Marquis? Or Don? Well, the room, thought unfashionable, is clean and the bed was comfortable. But the most serious problem is that my servant was involved with that awful event. Now, I have nobody to serve me. If that is only the takeaway from this, then I don't know what to say. I didn't utter a word, yet he didn't seem to notice me at all. Solar was sitting next to Lunich, so I felt uneasy about talking to her. I would be better if Solar was alone. Okay. Talk? On peut se parler avec... Non, ok, c'est ça. On va aller voir anything we want right now. Nothing in particular. I'm just wandering around. Then stay in the hall while I lock up the cellar. Why? I'm locking it up in case someone decides to go for the hard liquor to drown their sorrows. There's enough ale at the counter right now. Just keep an eye on everyone while I'm away. Sarn went down into the cellar. Sarn came out of the cellar, glanced at the counter, and scratched his head in confusion. That's weird. What is? I remember leaving my keychain on the counter, but now I can find it. Maybe you put it somewhere else? Maybe. I keep looking. Okay, I'm going up to go upstairs. Wait! Sarn pointed at the stairs. I turned around and sat Pouvez on the stairs. I'm just going to grab a book and come down again. I won't take long. He scrambled up the stairs 2 steps at a time. Honestly, that surprised me, given his size. Probably the best way. I just hope nothing else happened. I don't think there'll be much more trouble. Only one person can be alone at that time. And I doubt anyone's in the mood to die. That's all well and good, but it's better for everyone if you just stop there. Don't take what Peter just said too seriously. Of course, I worked in a tavern. I'd been called worse thing than that. I was going to try to comfort you, but I guess you don't need it. I wouldn't object to a little comfort. I'm just trying to satisfy your wish to comfort others. After all, it's my job to please my customer. Not in that way, though. So what do we do today? Well, I could set up the darts board and see if anyone's game. Sure, give emotionally compromised people sharp object. I'll be watching. Nothing will happen. I could think of a few things that could. Will you stop that? Hold on, I just remembered something. Spit it out! Why aren't you feeding Marky's horse? I told Yanis to bring the horses back last night, but he said they died. Oh no! Froze to death. So I had him drag them to the yard this morning. Why bother with that? Can't let good meat go to waste. And say I'm looking forward to a pleasant meal of horse meat. Oh no! Trevi trotted down the stairs, his book under his arms. Could you do me a favor, Mr. Detective? What is it? I'm having a great deal of trouble with the ladder upstairs. Could you want me to pull it up into the attic? The white dragon looked aside and nodded. If you would be so kind. I grabbed the rope and slowly lifted the ladder into the attic. The ladder is heavy, even for me. No wonder Trevi had so much trouble with it. The ladder reached the attic. I tied the rope on the wooden handle and under the corridor wall and went downstairs. Sarn took the dart board from under the counter. Since everyone seems a bit bored, I recommend playing a game of darts to pass time. I'm only offering the dart boards and dart. Any bets you want to place are up to you. Yeah! Zach bounced up from his seat with an eager grin. I guess the idea of possible loot or a sense of challenge had kindled some long-lost instinct from his ancient dragon ancestor. I'm not going to participate. I will watch first. I shall watch. It is tempting. Well, I'll watch as well. Fine by me, but I'm going to check my luggage upstairs, so I can leave immediately once the snow stops. Before anyone could interrupt, Vincent put down his cup and walked upstairs. Why was he so desperate to leave? I think I just watch. Oh no, you don't. You're gonna play too. Yanis pinched Peter's ears and pulled him out of his seat. I suppose I can join in and see what happens? Well, that makes 7 participants. Enzax, Trivet, Vincel, Yanis, Elegant, and Peter. Oh, and myself too. What about you, Roman? It's just a practice round, no bets. Yes, of course, I'm in. Frankly speaking, I practiced for it. So that makes 8. What are we waiting for when everyone is here? Let's get started. I'm ready too. Sorry for the wait, everyone. It doesn't matter. You've come at just the right time. Tarn lifted up the dartboard and hung it on the wall behind the counter. With his peeling black paint and riddled with hundreds of dart holes, the dartboard looked as old as his tavern. He took 3 darts from the groove behind the board and put them on the table. 3 darts only. Throw them in turns. I won't give you more in case you toss them around. Also, this should be obvious. Don't stick them in the table. Well, now that was just tempting fate. Anzax walked in front of the table first, then just behind this brick. Yeah, ready? Fire! 220, 41 in total. What's wrong with that last dart? I expected you to be an expert, seeing as you were so active. Next. Why is it so high? Oh non, pauvre lui! Double 19, triple 3, and 3. Ok, je pense qu'il va bâtir une dot. 50 points! Wow! A bit of a fluke, if you ask me. Congratulations! Next. I've not played darts in a long time, so please, forgive my humble showing. Vincent took the darts in his left hand and took aim. 5, 20, triple 1, 28 in total. Sure enough, oh well. Next. I'm ready. 345, avoir, 20, 60 in total. Just so. Next. Should I do all this? Like this? Almost. Just be careful. And don't throw them all on the wall. And especially, don't throw it at the picture, or else... Or else... No way! 16 points in total with 2 misses. What sort of beginner's luck is this? Next! If I may... 80, 20, purple 20, myth, 80 in total. Ah, it seems luck's favor me as well. Did she expose herself or not? It's my turn. Roman, mind tracking my scores? 1, 20, bullseye for 50, 71 in total. That's to be expected. It's your turn, Commander. Move your paws through the dark. Ah, le bullseye, ouais, je sais, j'aurais pas dû le lancer là. Oh, je pense qu'on a gagné. 100 points. 100 points in total. You're the champion. You live up to the title of great detective. I don't think the arts has much to do with being a detective. This is just the warm-up. Next one will be the real thing. But first, let me find my keychain. That one? Phoebe pointed at the keychain on the counter. Ah, that's it. Where the hell did it go before? Peter pulled me aside. Robin, could I ask you to do me a favor? What is it? Ah, I just want to send a letter to Ella. Could you help me write it for me, please? Ella? The little hair you had your eye on? Yes, that's her. Do you know if she can read? She can ask someone else to read it for her? Well, okay then. Just tell me what you wanted to say, and I'll write it out. Ready? Thank you so much! Suddenly I recalled that we could only leave the lobby alone today. Could we do this some other time? We're not supposed to leave the hall together. Okay, I suppose it can wait. The next round will begin shortly. Get ready! Ah yes, I'm coming! Peter rubbed his hands and walked to the counter. After a few rounds, Vincent had lost all of his 45 seat wagger, so it wasn't a big amount for him. He looked mournful as he walked back to the counter. Yanis turned the tables in the later rounds and even won a little. Elegant pretended to be a novice and finally managed to lose only a small sum of money. Enzax and Sarn were in first and second place. I figured that Sarn was going to win the whole pot with his technique, but Enzax got unexpected 360 point and won. Seems like didn't bless the two rookies, and Peter and Trevi tried hard but could only break even. I was not in a good mood, so I lost more than Elegant did. Sarn was absent for a few of the later rounds because he was busy preparing Christmas dinner in the kitchen. I can manage this all by myself. Is there anyone who can give me a hand? It would be better if Kane had been there. I will do it. Peter followed Sarn into the kitchen. According to custom, there is no lunch for Christmas Day. The poor can save a meal, while the rich can ready their stomach and prepare for a huge dinner. One of the few customs everyone could partake in. Mom will have maybe help Auntie with dinner. Well, who would resist a second chance? Opportunity like that, no wonder it's only available when I go home. I don't know why. Originally, I didn't want to go home. Now I feel a bit homesick. Everyone was resting at the table, and the few who were awake did not seem to be in the talkative mood. Enzax was playing the lute. What should I do now? Delete. 1st September 1230, Elias I died, and his successor, Elias II, ascended to the throne. Once Elias II came to power, he made a pledge that he would realize Elias I's unfinished aspiration. Elias too sent royal guards to inspect the country, punishing any who discriminated against their race. Against other races, excusez-moi. So, these persuasive measures have been viewed by some as harsh or cruel. The result has been undeniable. I closed the book at the smell of chewed muton, and reached my nostril. Christmas dinner is almost ready. Could you guys help bring the tables together? Okay. I'll start serving dinner when everyone is here. Me, Erin, and Yanis start moving the round tables, placing the long tables top on top, and laying out the red and green striped tablecloth. It was getting dark and everyone gathered at the table. Merry Christmas! Let us hope it will be! Surely it will be! Peter came out from the kitchen carrying a cauldron. Misty white steam floated out of the gap in the lid. The pot was so large that I could only see the tops of Peter's ears behind it. Peter stumbled near the long table and slammed the pot onto the table, splashing some gravy. I have to admit that's one advantage of having such a small figure. Even Peter was a bit clumsy with the dishes. No one would complain. If a big guy like Yamis slammed down the pot like that, people would think he wanted to fight. Oh, so sorry! Well, next time you need to carry a big pot of stuff, let me know. I know it. Erin accidentally dropped the serving spoon onto the floor and asked Ensox, who was near the kitchen, to help him get another one. Sarn also came out with 2 large plates of grilled meat and baked apple. There are still apples in the season. If stored properly, you can eat them all year around. Although this plate is my last stock. As soon as Sarn set the last few dishes down, everyone started to reach down. Wait a moment. In his hands hung in the air, his eyes looking a bit vicious. Given that it's Christmas, I think we should pray before eating, to thank the God who gave us food. Well, I suppose it wouldn't hurt. Mon Dieu, someone mentioned this before, Father Heron. Wait, I don't have my rosary. I might need to go upstairs to get it. Heron stood up, strenuously, preparing to squeeze around at the table to get to the stairs. Relax, I'll go fetch it. The quicker it's done, the quicker we eat. Wait, his door's still locked. And Zach seemed not to hear and strolled upstairs with his loot. That red-scaled bird, better hurry up. There was a muffled sound from upstairs. What happened? Oh dear. I should not have spoken. And Zach's mouth had just stripped or something, alright? The carpet on the second floor is thick, so he's probably fine. Take it easy. Sarn quickly left the table and headed upstairs. I also ran up to follow. The closer to the stairs I got, the more the smell of stew and spice in the tavern became mixed with a familiar, wet, coppery smell. It smells like it was more than just a fall. I ran up the steps quickly, taking them 2 at a time and clutching the handrails as I rushed up along the inside of the spiral case. It wasn't Zox. He was laying on the carpet, motionless. The wooden ladder leading to the attic had fallen. It had struck him on the head. Bright red blood spread down across Anzac's darker crimson scales and leaking into the thick carpet. The heavy wooden ladder was still pressed against his head, like a boot pressing down on the top of a melon. The hemp rope, which had originally tied the ladder to a wooden handle, swung like a pendulum in the air. Sarn stood there, stunned for a moment before he rushed forward to pull the twine. Anzax! The ladder slid up into the loft, along the guide rails, making a sharp friction noise. Chibi squeezed past me and crouched beside Enzox. Wait! Don't disturb the sea! He's still alive. What? Still alive? His head is covered with blood. Being covered with blood doesn't equal death. Phoebe pulled a white handkerchief from his pocket and pressed it against Enzox's head. The fabric slowly turned red from the wound, spreading across it like spilled wine on a tablecloth. How can you? Phoebe grabs Enzox's tail and knuckled down firmly against the ventral side. The plastic shell curled up at once and did not slacken again until the end was released. You see? He's still alive. If we can stop the bleeding, get him into bed, and apply a poultice, he should recover. You really are calm about this. Not to interrupt, but this ladder isn't exactly light. Could you... Lily grabbed Enzox's armpit, Crivey supported his head, and I lifted Enzox's leg. Then we lifted him aside together. Once we were out of the way, Sarn loosened his grip and let the ladder fall back again. Enzox will not wake up for a while. Carry him upstairs and put him in his bed. When I count 3, 3, we lift him upstairs together. 1, 2, 3. Lunich and I carried Enzox's limp body into the attic. Why do unconscious ones feel heavier than usual? Over to the bed now. Alright. We just leave him to be. Do something else and stay out of my way. Phoebe sat on the edge of the bed, pulling bottles and pins from his medicine box. What's the situation? I don't know. It will be some time before he regains consciousness. Ah, I'm just relieved you can take care of him. I climbed down the wooden ladder. Is that foot is barred, alright? Well, he's not going to die. Good! Well then, let us begin searching. What? Do you assume Enzox's injury was an accident? Isn't it because the handle I used to secure the rope broke? Perhaps? Elegant shrugged. We were all downstairs at the time of the Enzox incident, so surely it was just an accident, but it felt up, somehow. As much as I'd prefer to go back and eat, I'm already hungry enough to inspire my predatory instinct. We should try to finish dinner first. In weather like this, food gets cold quickly. And I haven't eaten anything today. How could you eat with such a problem stuck in your throat? Forget it, let's finish it quickly. I hear of a foreign general who had no time to drink after pouring a glass of warm wine, and then went to battle with the enemy general. When he returned victorious, the wine that was still warm. C'est fou comme ce jeu est plus gros que ce qu'on pensait. Man, ça arrête pas. Sérieusement, ça arrête pas. C'est juste fou. Je m'attendais vraiment à un petit jeu on the side. Mais non, il y a quelque chose de beau, quelque chose de gros en arrière de ça, j'adore. Then let me do a simple survey to find what reason is. I took the keychain from Sarn and straightened my collar. But the crime scene has been... It's fine. I have seen it all. And I can rebuild it. Should I drag Enzox back down the ladder? If you must do this to solve the case. I do it instead. Isn't it too cruel to let Enzox go back there? Thanks for your hard work. I will put up your ladder a little, so you may still climb under the ladder and not hurt yourself. Here? Left. Left. Up. Yes. Go somewhere else to search. I have not finished yet. Elegant squat down and grabbed Sarn's horn, position him. Hey! Easy there! My key is locked inside my room. The keychain is pinned down my waist. Pick it yourself and return it afterwards. Okay. Wait! The door's open again! Cette fois-ci, on se ramasse avec soit un accident, soit une tentative de meurtre. qu'est-ce que vous en pensez? Vous pouvez toujours me le laisser savoir dans les commentaires ci-dessous. Entre-temps, si vous voulez voir l'action en live sur Twitch, vous allez avoir le lien juste ici. Je vous souhaite une excellente fin de journée ou une excellente fin de soirée, tout dépendant de ce qui s'applique à vous. Prenez soin de vous et à la prochaine. Bye bye tout le monde.